So not too long ago, I found myself in a predicament because now I actually found myself in the possession of two very hairy puppers. And although they may seem cute and lovable and all, but they shed like crazy. And because of that, I had to take matters in my own hands because vacuuming 3 times a day wasn't good enough. So I did the next best thing and got myself a Roomba. And I'm really glad I did. Now, I am still just a regular consumer, so I spend hours and hours doing a lot of research on the quest to find the best smart robot vacuum that makes sense for me. And I end up purchasing the S9 Plus, bundled with the Brava Jet. Now, this vacuum has been cleaning up my household for about 6 months now. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a review that it deserves, cover all the pros and cons, and anything that I learned about owning this vacuum during the time. Let's go ahead and get started. So I had time making this video, and when I purchased my Roomba, it was on sale because I was able to find a bundle for $999, which is a lot when you take in consideration how much the 2 vacuums actually retail for at their full retail price. Now, this is the S9 Plus, and the thing I noticed with iRobot in general is that when you see the Plus, that means they come with the empty tank base, which typically can be purchased by itself for $250. So whenever you see the Plus next to the Roomba name, that just means it comes included with the base, which I highly recommend getting, as it's super convenient, especially since you don't really have to maintain the vacuum and it'll automatically empty its tank. Now, before I purchased my S9, I did a lot of research, and one of the most useful reviewers that I've came upon, the information that sold me on leaning more towards the S9 was a YouTube channel who makes honest reviews, and I really do appreciate him that he actually says it like how it is without any sponsorships, and that is Vacuum Wars. This guy does a lot of amazing reviews. His scoreboard is what sold me on the S9, as the S9 was actually the top 10 rated vacuums, smart robot vacuums on his list. It's able to deliver the most suction power thanks to iRobot's patent dual brush design. This is the reason why it was outperforming some similarly priced or more expensive smart robot vacuums on this list. And it also scored the best deep carpet cleaning vacuums during the 2021 robot comparisons. Now, other things I noticed about this robot compared to other third-party smart robot vacuums is there's a lot of replacement parts available for this Roomba. And the refill kit, it's something you're gonna have to purchase once a while when these brushes start breaking and tearing apart due to normal wear and tear. Yes, they may seem expensive, especially if you're going with Roomba itself, but I found out that even third parties make these same exact parts made out of the very same feeling material for just a quarter of the price. So that's the route I'm doing on my robot. I'm purchasing these from Amazon third-party sellers, and they don't even hurt the performance or anything like that. I noticed that the vacuum still vacuums as strong like it did with the official iRobot parts. And then another thing that not a lot of reviewers talk about the iRobot, a cool selling point for the S9 is that all the internal parts are all mostly modular. All the important bits like the engine, the wheels, the spinner can be all purchased separately. So in the long term, if a motor goes bad, you can always just go on iRobot's website, and to my surprise, they actually sell them for a reasonably price. And it's so easy to do and replace because everything is just modular, including the battery. And this is great because I do want this robot to last longer than a decade. Knowing that you could easily buy replacement parts, that was another key selling point for me. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the overall performance and interesting technology that it has. Now, it does have a camera, which does an excellent job scanning the room. When you first get the robot and you set up the smart app, it'll first scan the room a couple of times, scan the floors. You can create as many floors as you like from what I've seen. The app interface is so user-friendly and also gives you nice advice and tips and tricks. And you can also purchase some replacement parts here as well. Now, this app does have some iRobot Genius technology built into it, as it's able to create some automated schedules so the robot doesn't have to work as hard and always maintain a clean floor for you. And will suggest if there's anything you have to block, because the app does actually allow you to create custom virtual barriers that will prevent the robot from reaching in hard to reach areas that's known to get stuck. So you could create custom no cross zones if you like. And if the robot notices there's like a thick carpet, it'll actually mark it on the map right here. If you look closely, there's like these wiggly line patterns. This is where I have my really deep rugs. Once in a while it will get stuck, but I have noticed this robot's actually really powerful, great in terms of making sharp turns to get itself unstuck in certain situations. But whenever the robot gets stuck, I do get a push notification on my phone, which does seem to be over dramatic sometimes. But once a job is complete, you'll receive a push notification. You can click on it and we'll actually give you a brief overview on how much it cleaned up, square feet, as well as the time it took to complete this task. Now I do have custom schedules on mine. Every morning this vacuum starts vacuuming, and you could create custom jobs for it. So you could create shortcuts, so you can simply tap on a task that you like. You can name it to whatever, like mine has because dogs. But if you like to do individual apps, let's say I spilled something in the kitchen, you can create individual jobs by just tapping on the area you want the vacuum to immediately start cleaning up. It's super convenient, and having a custom schedule really does allow me to keep the bottom floor of my house super clean. So my guests are always impressed how well clean it is for somebody who has 2 large dogs. Now the Wedge Design, if you notice, it's not following the circular design that iRobots typically come with. iRobot says they did this because they found it more efficient. So because of that, I believe that this is going to be the future design for the next generation of iRobots. It's good to know that the S9 already has that new design. Besides that, overall, it does a fantastic job keeping my downstairs floor, hardwood floor, clean all the time. It does an excellent job on emptying its tank. As soon as the sensors detect that the tank is getting dangerously full, it immediately goes into its little base and just empty itself to prevent dog hair from clogging itself up. Then the bag itself, usually once a month I have to replace it, but I found a cool trick. You can actually take a vacuum and actually vacuum the hair and remove it out this way so you continue using the bags. I'm pretty sure that iRobot doesn't recommend you doing this, but you can, so you don't always have to buy these little replacement bags. Now the robot is really loud, which is why I have it scheduled to vacuum as soon as I wake up. From my understanding, it's a lot louder compared to other third-party vacuums, but it gets the job done. But there are times it does sound like I have like a mini twister tornado downstairs, especially when it attaches itself to the base and starts emptying its tank. It literally sounds like a mini twister. But since it's loud, I do appreciate that it's really powerful and really efficient, because the internal battery that it has really does last a long time. But it also has the smart resume function, where if the battery reaches like a certain percentage, it will actually self-charge itself and resume back once it has enough battery life percentage to resume back and complete the task. So it does have the recharge and resume feature. Other than that, this vacuum has been doing a fantastic job. Overall structured, the material, the design itself, it's very sturdy. I've kicked this vacuum a couple of times. Things have dropped and fall on it, and it still is vacuuming, strong and powerful, just like it did in day one. The square footage of my household is 3,000 square feet, and this thing is able to cover all of that just fine. It does extremely well on hardwood and allows me to maintain a clean floor. So my guests are always impressed how I'm able to do it. And from a far distance with the base and everything, it doesn't look that bad. It blends in extremely well, especially if you have a modern theme home interior. Now as for the jet's optional. It doesn't do anything fancy or anything out of the ordinary. It gets the job done. It just uses this mechanism like a wet towel and just drags this around and sprays it with the external spray. It's fully customizable, just like the Roomba is on the app. You could adjust the spray if you wanted to spray more or not. The tank, it's easy to get access to and refill the bottle. And you can make both robots communicate with one another. So as soon as the Roomba is finished vacuuming, it will automatically tell the jet to start mopping. And then you can also allow it to do the dry mop too if you like to do that. But honestly, this is just gonna drag things around. But the jet does a good job. I just don't like the fact that it leaves like these lines sometimes. I feel like I just need a mop and like eliminate this once in a while. But the jet gets the job done. I really don't feel like it's necessary for me to go in depth in covering that device. That will definitely double the length of this current video. But if you're interested, I don't know, let me know in the comment section if you want me to review the jet or maybe other third-party mopping robots. Aside from that, I'm really happy with the S9 Plus. So if you also have a household filled with fuzzy animals, I will highly recommend picking up a smart vacuum. The S9 is a powerful, and thanks to its patent design brushes that it has, it really does suck up everything, especially in hardwood and thick carpets like mine. I'm very happy with this Roomba, and it's getting the job done. And if you're picking one up, I highly recommend acting now, because right now it still is on sale. So make sure to click on that link in the video description down below. So if I help you out in any single way, giving you tips and stuff, how to like find easier replacement parts and such, and clever ways to empty the trash bag, hit that like button, as those help me out a lot. And get subscribed, especially if you enjoy a lot of tech videos just like this. If you want to watch more, check out this video over here as I review and compare the most popular Apple Watch right now available in the market. Then that video over there, that's just a video that YouTube's recommending specifically for you. Thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.